Hi, hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Felina. So most of you might not know I have two kids. I have a 3-year-old and I have a 7-month-old as of right now. My 3-year-old, right after his second birthday, was diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic. In this video, I want to tell you our experience and kind of share awareness for parents everywhere, because no one in our family has it. And I would like for people to become more aware of the signs, the symptoms, and kind of just be nice to everybody, because you don't know what someone's going through. And it's rough. Ooh. So type 1 is basically an autoimmune disease. And for Hunter, it happened right before, or I guess right after his 3rd birthday, somewhere in that time frame. I'm not exactly sure when it happened or when it started. I mean, he was 2 at the time, but he's 3 now. And for us, we didn't know any symptoms because, like I said, no one in our family has it, so it wasn't something that we were fully aware of. And for him to get diagnosed, it was a 2-week process where we knew he was sick, but we didn't know what it was, and we had gone to his pediatrician, urgent care, and the ER. And so it was a super, super long process with kind of unanswered questions up until he had gotten diagnosed. And so I will go over everything and basically kind of give you his story of how it happened to him and kind of how we're dealing with it now, because he will live with it for the rest of his life. Bear with me. This might be a long video, and I'm going to say the same things over again because I keep stopping and I'm trying to remember everything. So after his 3rd birthday on August 29th, he started becoming really tired. He wasn't lethargic yet, he was just exhausted. And it had gotten to the point where he would take naps, and he's 2, 3 at this point, and we're thinking it's normal. I had just had my 2nd baby, and we're like adjusting to everything, and so we had assumed it was that, and it had gotten to the point where he had good days and he had bad days, but it wasn't like the flu where he was sick for like 3 or 4 days and then it was all better. He was sick for 2 days, fine for 1 day, sick again. And he threw up 2 or 3 times, but there was so many signs that we had completely missed. So he was showing signs of hyperglycemia and hypoglycemia, which hyperglycemia is whenever you have high blood sugar, and hypoglycemia is whenever you have low blood sugar, or hypoglycemia, I should say. And so for him, he showed signs of fatigue, blurred vision, confusion. He drank a ton and he peed way, way too much. He was also hungry all the time, and then he would throw up. He was sleepy, he had headaches, but he's 2, so he couldn't tell us, and so it was kind of a big guessing game. And so a couple days, I think it was like after 4 or 5 days, we had taken him to urgent care because, he didn't feel good. And so, we went and they had done tests and everything, and they were like, oh, the flu's going around, and so is strep, so, we'll test him for that. And so we went in, they tested him. They told us that he came back negative, you know, all was fine. Go home, take some medicine, you'll be good. A couple days later, same thing kept happening and he was throwing up. But keep in mind, I see him every day, so I'm not seeing his weight loss. I'm just seeing everything else. And so at this point, we're like, okay, you know, we'll wait it out. We'll see, you know, what exactly it is, what's going on. And so made an appointment with his doctor. And so I told his doctor, at this point, I'm like, I don't know when the last time he went to the bathroom to take a number 2. And, you know, they said just monitor it, make sure that he can go. You have a couple of options of suppositories, and then your last resort is going to be an enema, which I don't ever recommend doing to a 2 or 3-year-old because we took him to his pediatrician first. They checked him, you know, he was feeling okay that day, but he wasn't himself, where he'd play with cars and he was running around. He was just kind of coasting through. And I had voiced my concerns because I told him, I was like, you know, he's not being himself. He doesn't want to play with cars. He wants to go to sleep. He wants to eat. He wants to drink. Like, that's it. He doesn't want to do anything. And at that point, you know, they're like, okay, this was their first time seeing him because we had just moved to Tampa. And I remember I told him, and they were like, you know, give him anything that you could think of to make him go. Prune juice, apple sauce, you know, kind of just give him everything. And I mean, he went once, but they were teeny tiny, you know, nothing extreme where it was like, oh my God, like you did it, like great job. It was like, okay, you did it, but there's more. Is it stuck in there? Like what's going on at this point? And so we took him over to get x-rays at Tampa General's, I guess, radiology facility that they have in Brandon. We went over there, they did it, waited a couple days, and at this point he's still not going. And so we waited and they still hadn't called us. And so I called his nurse and I told her, I was like, hey, you know, he still hasn't gone. I've done suppositories, prune juice, fiber foods, like nothing's coming. Something should have come or there's going to be an explosion later. So I'm not entirely sure what's happening. And so at this point, she was like, you know, I highly suggest you do an enema, see if, you know, if something happens. It should happen within 15 minutes of it, you know, taking effect. So we waited. And at this point, Jake hadn't come home yet from work. And so I was waiting for him. And by the time he got home, you know, we said that we were going to do it. And so we waited 15 minutes and nothing happened. So we called the nurse and we were like, hey, you know, we did the enema. It's been about 15, 20 minutes already. Nothing's happening. So what do we do? And so at that point, they're like, well, no one's at the doctor's office anymore. Everyone's gone home. We suggest you take him to the emergency room. So we took him to the emergency room and they kind of looked at us a little funky and we weren't entirely sure why. And I'll insert pictures of kind of the timeline of everything for Hunter. But I never realized how skinny he was because, like I had said, I see him every day, so I don't see the major changes that people do when there's like a gap. Oh, jeez. So at this point, she's kind of asking us, you know, what's going on? Why are we here? Kind of all the questions. And so, you know, we had explained to them, we were like, well, he hasn't gone to the bathroom. We did an enema. This has been going on for, at this point, it was like 2 weeks. Um, and so I just remember she grabbed this little phone machine type of thing and was poking him and kept doing it over and over and over again. And so they laughed and then they came back. And ooh, that's whenever they had told us, they said, I don't remember the exact number. They had said at this point that he was, I think it was, his blood sugar was like 800 to like 1,000 or something like that. It was somewhere in that time, somewhere in that range. It was crazy high. Oh jeez, it looked like a hot mess. And I just remember them coming in and telling, it was me at the time because my husband went to the house to go get some stuff because they said that we were staying. I remember them telling us, they were like, he has type 1 diabetes. Ooh. And it kind of is like a giant train smacking you in the face because you're like, how? Like, how does this happen? And you're thinking to yourself, you know, what did I do? Like, is there something that I did? And, you know, she was like, well, she's like, we'll let them talk to you whenever we transfer you guys. They said, but they had told us, they said, he's gonna have to be transferred to over the main Tampa General over there for the kids ICU unit. And so, you know, we had gone in and I rode with him to the hospital when my husband took the baby and they drove. And so we get there and, you know, they're getting him all settled. And at this point, he was just tired and miserable and wanted to feel better. And so after we get there, they're telling us, you know, we're going to keep him for a couple days observation, give him some insulin, and keep him hydrated. But you can't stay, and neither can the baby, because the baby's only 2 months at this point. And so they were like, you can't stay, and neither can she. Only one parent's allowed in here. And so my husband stayed, so I don't know exactly what all happened inside there. But I remember coming home, and my father-in-law told me, he was like, it's not the worst, you know. It's going to be fine, because it's going to go away. But that's not the case with type 1. Type 2, yes, you can take care of yourself and, you know, exercise and be on a healthy diet. And, you know, it can resolve itself. But with type 1, the cells basically are destroyed and won't ever be able to produce insulin. And so I told him, I said, nope, I have a feeling that it's not, and it's going to be one of those things that just stays around forever. And that is the case. And it's fine, because now we know how to manage it. But man, it hits you like a train, and it's a lot. And it stinks because there's nothing that you can do. And it's not like, I wish that I could be like, oh, you know what? I have it too. It's fine because mom has it or dad has it, you know. And it sucks because you just want them to be normal. And in a sense, they are, but they aren't. When you first get diagnosed with him, you typically have anywhere from 4 to like 6 shots a day. And so for him, whenever he first started, and again now, he gets usually one at breakfast, one at lunch, one at dinner, and then at nighttime. And so that usually covers everything. And so for him, it always changes. Nothing's ever going to be the same. So for his food and stuff, everything's carb counted. So like apples, juice, if he's having specific types of juices, literally everything. Like, the amount of stuff that has carbs inside of it that you don't think about is kind of unreal, because before it was kind of like, oh, here's some food, you know, a sandwich, a quesadilla, you know, chicken nuggets, chocolate milk, water, apples, like, eat it, be fine, go on your way, kid. And now it's like, well, you know, here's this apple, is it a small, medium, or large? You know, is it going to have 10 grams of carbs? Is it going to have 20 grams of carbs? You know, strawberries, blueberries, like, you name it. And we've gotten kind of good to the point where we can kind of guesstimate about what a certain food is, and you know, be like, oh, well, you know, that's probably like 10, or, you know, it's this. And over time, within the last 5 months, he's gotten good about telling us, you know, whether something hurts, whether he has a headache, a stomach ache, you know, he needs to take a nap because he's not feeling 100%. So it's the first month and a half to 2 months are the hardest, because you're adjusting to a new life for them, and you don't know about food changes and whether or not, like, you need to give them this or give them that, and you're carb counting, trying to figure out if you need to compensate for their high blood sugar with the snacks that they want, you know. And the one thing I do remember was, after we had gotten home, he wanted to eat because his body was recovering. It had the insulin now, and so it was like, hey, you know, I'm feeling better, I need food, like, give me some energy, give me something. And so the amount of food that we went through was crazy. And there are things called, thanks guys for watching, and, you know, hanging in there with me and listening to Hunter's story, kind of how everything unraveled. And I'm sorry if I missed bits and pieces and it doesn't make any sense to you guys, because it was a long 2 weeks of, you know, change. But thank you for sticking around and watching and listening. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, you know. We greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much. Bye. What is your name? Say your name. Who are you? Who? Say it louder. What's your name? Good job. Ooh, excuse you. Here you go.
Thank you.
How old are you?
Red.
No, how old?
Green.
No, how old are you? How many fingers? Are you this many or this many?
Blue.
Okay.
I don't want the blue.
Okay. How old are you? Are you 2 or are you 3?
3.
Good job. Here you go.
Thank you.
Huh? Do you have
Thank you.
Do you have type 1 diabetes?
Diabetes.
Yeah, do you have it?
Osh.
Hmm?
Osh.
Yeah?
And the blue. And
Yeah.
the white. And green. Red. Red.
Yeah. Do you get shots every day?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
No.
Yes. Where do you get shots at?
No.
Where do you get your shots at when you take medicine?
No.
Where do you get it? Do you get it here or here? Hmm?
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah.
Do you get them in here?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Can you show them your circle? Other arm. Show 'em. Turn. Say, look. Can you show them how you use your circle? Scan it. Good job.
this?
Yeah. And so it reads your blood sugar, doesn't it?
No.
Yes.
Oh my
I'm sorry.
side.
Does it make you feel better?
Again, right?
Yeah, does it make you feel better when you get like juice boxes and stuff?
But you
Yeah, does it make you feel better?
ouch.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Huh?
What hurts? Oh, right here? Okay.
Okay. Now don't circle with what?
Yeah.
Now we circle. Bananas. Bananas. Bananas.
Mm-hmm.
Then you do it. Circle.
Mm-hmm.
Push it.
Yep. There you go. What are your favorite foods?
Foods.
Mm-hmm. What do you like?
I like it.
Yeah. Do you like sandwiches?
Yes, yes.
What about sausages?
Sausage.
Blueberries?
Yes. Probably.
Yeah. Did you like whenever you went to go see your doctor? No.
No.
Did you have a whole bunch of stuff stuck in you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did it hurt?
Mm-hmm.
Did it make you feel better though?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are you all better now?
Mm-hmm.
Are you all better?
Beanie.
You want a Band-Aid?
Right.